Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Land of Curves. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see when I upload new videos every single week. So today I'm going to be talking about how I failed my GCSEs and A-levels. Oh my god. I am the third child of my family, so basically I have two older sisters and I'm the youngest, so I'm a bit of a spoiled brat. I've always been the rebel child, the you know, the cheeky one, the funny one, obviously. I was never really great at school, so my sisters would be getting A's, B's, everything like that, and I would be getting C's, D's, E's and F's. My GCSEs came around and I was so like, I thought I had like studied like so hard. I thought I tried my best. I thought, yeah, that's it, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna get some at least B's and C's. I remember going with my sister to collect my GCSE results. Bruv, my heart was beating because my dad was like, if you don't come back here with with A's and B's, me and you today. Like, my heart was beating. Get there with my sister, my older sister, and I open up the envelope. My heart is doing chugga 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 chugga. I'm thinking, oh shit, like I'm gonna get disowned. My dad's never gonna talk to me again. Like, I'm thinking all kinds of things. I open up the envelope and I see I've got like what, 4 C's and the rest are like E's, D's, E's, even U's as in unclassified, as in unavailable, as in ungradable. Hey, I said Jesus. That day I cried. Come and see, cry. My sister was just like, well, this is not your life. I was like, bruh, what am I going to do in my life? And am I going to end up in McDonald's? Am I going to end up sweeping road? I didn't know. So I decided that I was going to go to Coulsdon College and do a BTEC, I think it was BTEC Accounting and Finance, because at that time I was really into maths. I really wanted to do something maths related, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go in and try and do accounting. Coulsdon College accepted me. Coulsdon College is in Croydon, for those of you who don't know, if you're living in the UK or in London. I went there literally for a day. My dad at this point, he was in Nigeria and he came back the day that I was starting. So literally I'd been accepted to Coulsdon College, showed them whatever GCSEs I had, and then the next day I was due to start college. So I'm in my first lesson of the day doing accounting and finance, and then a teacher comes in and she's like, oh, Joanne, you've got to go home, there's an emergency. And then at this point I'm like, bruh, what emergency? And I'm thinking, oh my god, my heart is going. I'm like, oh my god, has something happened at home? Has someone had an accident? I didn't know what to think because I've never had, you know, this kind of family kind of emergency call before, innit? My hair is all over the place. So I'm like rushing to get home. Then I get a phone call from my dad and he's like to me, it's all right, there's no family emergency, go straight to your secondary school. So I'm like, what? He's like, no, just go straight to your secondary school. I've spoken to the sixth form teacher because my secondary school is also a sixth form. He was like, he's spoken to the head of the sixth form and she's accepted for you to go back. She's accepted for you to go into sixth form, but you have to retake your maths and your science. You can go to college with less than 5 A to C grades, but you'd have to do a vocational course, being BTEC. And I didn't want to do BTEC, I wanted to do A levels, but since I was in that predicament, I said, let me do BTEC and move on. But my dad wasn't accepting that because he's a very traditional man, and he was like, no, you have to do your A levels. Your sister's done the A levels, I done A levels, your mum done A levels. I don't want you doing no dusty vocational course. I want you to go and do traditional A levels in a sixth form or college. I was like, okay, cool. So I went straight to my secondary school, spoke to the head of the sixth form. She told me, okay, this is your timetable. You're going to redo your maths. You're going to redo your triple science. I hated science with a passion. I failed those sciences, even biology, which everyone says is the easiest one. I failed them so disgustingly. Anyway, she said, okay, this is your timetable. You're only going to retake your maths and your sciences, and then if you pass them, the next year you'll go on and do your A-levels. So I was like, okay, cool. Seemed pretty cool to me. Done that year. I completely messed about, not even gonna lie. I truanted, didn't go to my lessons, couldn't really be bothered because I hated the subjects. And for me, when I hate subjects, or if I'm not interested in something, I won't even try. Like, I'm just like, you know what, bun this, I'm tired, I don't want to do it. So I completely failed them again. I got F's, D's, U's, whatever in my maths and my triple sciences. I spoke to my head of sixth form and I was like, I tried my best, I just couldn't do it. Please, please, please let me go on and do my A-levels, I'm begging you. And my dad even got involved, and he was like, he managed to pull some strings and she allowed me to do my A-levels the following year, even though I had still only got 4 A to C's. So at this point I was in year 13. Yeah, which is when you're supposed to be finishing to go on to university, but obviously I had been delayed because I got shit GCSEs. So I went on to do my year 13, and she allowed me to do psychology and law because those are the two things that I thought, you know what, I'd be really interested in these. So I tried my hardest, I tried my best. After the year, obviously there were AS levels, and then you have to do 2 years to get a full A level. So I done my two AS levels, which was law and psychology, and I managed to do well. I got a B and I got a C. I was so happy. I was like, Muwa. I went on the next year to continue with law and psychology, and I picked up double award health and social care because obviously I can't go to university with just 2 A levels. So I decided to do double award health and social care, which is 2 AS levels, which equate to 1. Therefore I would have 3 A levels. I managed to end up with when the year was over, so at this point I was in year 14, God almighty, I managed to end up with a C for law, a D for psychology, and a BC for health and social care. So overall I got a BCD. I think my 5 choices for UCAS were Coventry, Dundee, which is in Scotland, I can't remember the other 3 if I'm being honest with you. I will never forget this in my life. I got home, no, I called my dad when I got my paper because I went by myself to get my A levels. I opened the paper and I was like, oh, I got a D for psychology. Like, that was the only one that I was like, flip. So my dad's ringing up my line like thinking, what did she get, what did she get? This is so funny. Basically I was like, okay, I got a BC for health and social care, but because my B was so high it amounted to a B. C for law and a D for psychology. He was like, you got BBC? I said, no daddy, I got I got BCD. He was like, D for dog? I was like, yeah, D for dog. He was like, oh, you see your life? How can you get this? Anyway, come home. So I'm walking home like, shit, my life is over. I'm not going to get into uni. At this point, I was refreshing my page for the UCAS thing, thinking, shit, have I got an offer? Have I got an offer? I remember Dundee gave me an offer, but I didn't want to go all the way to Scotland because I thought it would have been cool to go to Scotland, but because they you would only be able to study Scottish laws, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to study UK law. Well, not UK law, but English law, sorry. Got home now, my dad was like, so what are you going to do? You better start calling clearing. My sisters, both of them, I'm on the line, she's on the line, both my sisters are on the line. We're all trying to ring university to see if I can get into a uni to study LLB law at uni, because that's what I wanted to do. My sister was calling around and everyone kept saying, no, not with the A levels that she got and not with the GCSEs that she got, because when they look at your A levels, they'll now look onto GCSEs, and if your GCSEs aren't correlating, they're just going to be like, no, especially for law, because it's quite, yeah, it's law. I was getting rejections after rejections, and then my dad, he was getting so frustrated because he was in the living room while we were all doing it. He was like, you see yourself? You're not even going to go to university. You'll end up going to University of Venner Road. That day, I cried, bruv. You know when you want to laugh, even my sisters here, they wanted to laugh because my dad was like, you're going to end up going to the University of basically my road. Obviously there's no university on my road, but he was being stupid. Oh, that day was intense. So finally my sister got through to Coventry. She was like, oh, she's Coventry is her first choice. You guys haven't got back to her yet. She really wants to do law. These are her A-levels and these are her GCSEs. And they ended up putting me through to the head of law, the law department. And I spoke to her and she just spoke to me and said, oh, why do you want to study law? Told her, you know, I've always wanted to be a barrister. You know, I really think this is my calling. I so want to do this. I so enjoy it. Basically just tried to really get her to accept me. She was like, okay, sounds good to me. You've been accepted into Coventry to do LLB law. Just send through your GCSE maths and English. And I was like, I got a D in maths, but I got a B in English language and a C in English literature. She was like, that's fine, just scan them through. So I told my dad, I was like, oh my god, daddy, they accepted me to Coventry. He was like, you better make sure you get that confirmation. So I was like, okay. Through, I managed to get my place and I got onto the course to do LLB law at Coventry University. That day was the most intense yet the happiest day of my life, because I've always thought I'm not gonna go to uni because my grades are so shit. I've never really tried. I was a truant. I bunked lessons. I just messed up in class. I would talk, I would laugh, I would get in trouble, I would be in detention. Every day there was a problem with me. Letters coming home, parents' evening, the same nonsense. Joanna's always talking, Joanna's always laughing, Joanne doesn't do her work, Joanne doesn't apply herself. It was the same thing. Every time my mum and dad came to parents' evening, it was the same thing. I was a bad child. Like, I just didn't care for school, so I didn't think I was going to go to uni. I genuinely thought I would end up in McDonald's, bruv. But my dad was like, when you go to university, if you mess up yourself anywhere, you know what to do. My first year, I knew that I didn't really count towards my grades, so I turned up, I did what I had to do. I had the best time of my life. I failed some exams I had to retake, but I managed to get through to year 2. On to my year 2, I failed some exams there as well, but I did actually apply myself in my second year. I failed probably 1 exam, and then which I had to retake. And I went on to final year, and my final year I worked my ass off because I was like, you know what, I've got to make my dad proud. Like, he's always disappointed in me with my educational kind of life, and I wanted him to really be proud of me, because my dad is like my best friend. Like, even though like he always chats and I'm always getting in trouble with him, I know that he wants the best for me, and I know that everything that he's done from when I failed my GCSEs to where I am now, he's been there every step of the way to help me. And I know that he always wanted me to do well in life. I wanted to make him proud, so I said, you know what, final year I'm going to take it seriously, and I'm going to make sure I get my degree, and I'm going to get a 2-1. I knew I couldn't get a first because that was out the window from my first year, my second year. So I thought, you know what, if I make final year count, they will take everything that I've done, all my exams that I've done in my final year. If I get really good grades, they'll make that my final grade, because sometimes they can either take some exams out of your second year and take some of your exam grades from your final year to combine them to make your final grade. But if you've done exceptionally well in your final year, you haven't done too well in your second year, they'll take all your grades from your final year and make that as your final grade. I didn't sleep. I was living on Pro Plus and Lucozade and Red Bull. I literally slept in the library, and I managed to get out with a 2-1. God knows how, because I know some of my friends like Joseph and Jade, they were so much smarter than me, and they worked harder than me at times. I would be the last, literally 3 days before my exam, I'd be like, okay, so what we studying? And I'll study a whole book in 3 days straight. But my dad, like, when I told my dad, oh my god, I got a 2-1, because I was so shocked, I was crying, I was happy, and my dad was like, you got a 2-1. I literally started from the bottom, now I'm here kind of thing. Literally, that was my life. My dad was so proud of me. Like, on my graduation, he was so proud of me. And to see my dad's face light up like that, like my daughter has made something of herself, it made me so happy. I got my degree. I went on to do the bar vocational course to be a barrister. I work for the CPS now, the Crown Prosecution Service. And the reason why I'm telling this story is because I know a lot of people have just gotten their A-level results and just gotten their GCSEs, and they're so like, oh my god, if I don't get, you know, good grades, my life is over. But I'm only telling the story because I know that it doesn't work like that. Even if you get like rubbish grades for your GCSEs or your A-levels, you can 100% make something of yourself. And I'm a living truth. I know how it feels to fail I failed my GCSEs. I literally failed one of my A-levels. It doesn't matter what grades you get, it's how hard you work towards getting something that you want. If my dad didn't keep pushing me, and if I didn't keep pushing myself, I wouldn't be here where I am today. My teachers were recommended that I go, and I don't even go to university. They were saying that university wouldn't accept me. They were saying that I should just go and work in retail, go be a manager or something. They didn't think I was going to end up to where I am today. But if it wasn't for my dad pushing me and really getting onto my teachers like, no, she's going to do this, and you know, pulling strings, I wouldn't be here where I am today. It's not the end of the world. Like, you can still go on and do whatever you want to do, but it's how much you want it and how much you push yourself to really go and do whatever you want to do. So yeah, that is my story time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got some kind of inspiration from it. Also, these days, like, a lot of employers don't even look at the piece of paper that you've got called a degree or your GCSEs or your A-levels. It's the experience that you have. You just need that practical experience, because this is what employers are looking for. I can count on my hand the amount of times employers have asked me, what did you get in your degree, or what A-levels did you get, or what GCSEs did you get. I have never ever been asked, since I've been in the working world, I have never been asked what my GCSEs or my A-levels are. If I was an A-star student, right, and I had zero experience, but I had all my grades to show that I was an excellent student, they would employ somebody that had more experience than me and then D's and E's as their grades, and that's purely because they've got more experience. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you loved this video. Leave some comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think of it. If you're like struggling with your A-levels or GCSEs, you don't know what to do with your life, ping me an email or just put it in the comments below and I'll try my best to get back to you. Also, make sure you subscribe to me. Like I said, if you don't subscribe to me, how do you know when my new videos come out? You're not gonna know. Stay beautiful, stay curvy, and stay slaying. Bye guys.